Brexit trade talks could see Boris Johnson forced to accept EU regulation despite the Prime Minister's attempts to override the withdrawal agreement, a commentator has warned. The EU and the UK are set for emergency Brexit talks today after Boris Johnson's move to try and override the withdrawal agreement. The Internal Market Bill, published on Wednesday, addresses the Northern Ireland Protocol, an element of the withdrawal agreement designed to prevent a hard border returning to the island of Ireland. The bill seeks to give powers to UK ministers so they can modify or disapply rules relating to the movement of goods. Northern Ireland Secretary Brandon Lewis admitted this week that this could break international law. The EU says it is looking for clarifications on the implementation of the agreement as talks resume today. The Prime Minister's overall objective is to avoid the UK having to follow EU rules and regulations on state aid, trade and fisheries. But Brussels negotiator, Michel Barnier, has warned that unless Britain accepts a level playing field, the UK will be excluded from European markets. Commentator, Martin Davidson, highlights that Mr. Barnier may have a strong argument, meaning Mr. Johnson may have to accept EU rules despite his controversial efforts to break the deadlock in trade talks. Mr. Davidson said in his CapEx column this week, certainly, the political declaration talks about an ambitious, wide-ranging and balanced economic partnership that will be underpinned by a level playing field for open and fair competition. To that extent, Barnier is clearly justified in seeking his credible guarantees, as the thrust of the declaration is clearly that openness and fairness require robust commitments to a level playing field. He also highlights the political declarations made on the key issues of contention in trade talks. Mr. Davidson added, the political declaration specifies that, the parties should uphold the common high standards applicable in the Union and the United Kingdom at the end of the transition period in the areas of state aid, competition, social and employment standards, environment, climate change, and relevant tax matters.